Hello everybody, welcome to my chemistry classes. I'm going to try this out, see if it works for you. We're working on limiting reagents. Technology is not my strong suit, but we will do our best. So hopefully this video helps. You guys have 3 problems for your homework, 3 or 4 I guess, so double check. But I thought I'd give you an example of one that looks really similar to a problem that you have. The first one you have is just conceptual, dealing with like recipes, and then the next 2 deal with finding a limiting reagent and making the calculation of how much product is formed. So limiting reagents are, again, what reactant are you going to run out of first? And so if we have this particular reaction, beryllium chloride, sodium is a single replacement reaction to sodium chloride and beryllium. The question is, you have 10 grams of beryllium chloride to react with 5 grams of sodium. Which is the limiting reagent, and how many grams of sodium chloride will you produce? So the question then becomes, do you run out of the beryllium chloride first or the sodium first? And these problems follow the exact same trajectory as a stoichiometry problem. Into moles, switch out of moles. The only difference is you have to do 2 parallel problems and see which one ends up with less. So here we go. Let's start with the beryllium chloride. You start with 10 grams beryllium chloride, and you have to switch it into moles first. So beryllium chloride weighs 79.91 grams per 1 mole. Okay, and then we're going to switch substances. So we want to know, in the end, how much sodium chloride will we produce. So we have to switch to sodium chloride. So the relationship is 1 to 2, beryllium chloride to sodium chloride. So you have 1 beryllium chloride to 2 moles sodium chloride. And then the final step, so we don't run out of room, is to switch out of moles. And so we are now in moles of sodium chloride, and we want to switch out. So 1 mole of sodium chloride is equal to 58.44 grams sodium chloride. And if you run the calculation in your calculator, 10 times 2 times 58.44 divided by 79.91, you end up with 14.63 grams of sodium chloride. Okay, so that's the first problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this to just run the second problem above. So the idea is you want to run these 2 parallel problems and see which one makes less product. Okay, in the same way that you would do your recipe example. How many cookies can you make with the cups of flour? How much can you make with sugar? And whatever one you can make less with is the one you run out of first. So let's look at the second problem. 5 grams of sodium. And we want to know how much sodium chloride can we make. So we'll just convert grams of sodium to moles of sodium. Into moles, switch out of moles. Now we're going to switch substances. It's a 2 to 2 relationship, sodium to sodium chloride. So we have 2 moles sodium to 2 moles sodium chloride. And then we want to come out of moles into grams. So 1. Now this information you get from the periodic table, right? 58.4. And when you run these numbers on the calculator, you end up with 12.71 grams of sodium chloride. So if I use all the beryllium chloride, I can make 14.63 grams. If I use all the sodium that I started with, I can make 12.71. This is going to be the least or the less of the 2, right? Which means your 5 grams of sodium is your limiting reagent. Oops, I spelled that wrong. This is your limiting reagent. Your sodium is the limiting. because you will run out of it first. And then how much sodium chloride will you make? You'll make 12.71 grams of sodium chloride. You could take this a step farther, like in an honors class or an AP class. You could say, well, how much of the beryllium chloride is left over? Well, then you would figure out what's the difference between the 14 and the 12 and work backwards to the beryllium chloride. But that's for a different day. Hopefully this helps, and good luck. I'll probably post more videos in the future.